So, good afternoon. I'm Rebecca Gregory, Education and Technical Support Lead Director for Simply Organic Beauty. And we are so thrilled because Oway has announced that they have brought to our offerings a new perm. It's called the Owave Perm, and it is ammonia-free, of course, thio-free, and a vegan formula. So it is super exciting that they've changed the formula up a little bit. They've answered a lot of our needs, and we are excited to have an Owave permanent waving system that's going to be basically designed to give not only support and volume, but movement and shape to all your clients' hair types. So I'm going to start the program here with explaining some of the benefits to this new perm system. I'm in love with everything that they do because they do everything with the utmost, the most beneficial ingredients to the hair, but they've also got a versatile, 100% versatile and customizable offering for waving and perming, as well as adding texture. So I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. But basically, with this perm package, you are going to be able to not only perm, but offer relaxing services to the clients that you are currently servicing that may want straight or loose waves. So it's very versatile, like I said. You are going to be able to give all types of body waves, maybe volume is what your clients are looking for. So, but we can do all of this without the traditional risks to our clients' hair health or their internal health, as well as our own. So that's offering us a healthier and better state of mind and helping with, actually, there's a lot of ingredients that I'm going to go through that are going to benefit the hair, honestly. So once again, we have a zero ammonia formulation. We work with no thios, and once again, no synthetic fragrance, which is typically where a lot of companies pack in some of those toxic elements. So synthetic fragrance is not used in any of these products, no pegs or nor parabens. This formulation is made with biodynamic, organic, botanicals, pure essential oils, and ethically sourced ingredients, which is it follows all of the standards that Simply Organic needs to bring professional beauty products to the market. So it hits all of our standards once again. So this is a company that works with the highest integrity in all of their formulations. So once again, they also work with sustainable packaging. And so this brand is built and created in Italy, and we use all amber packaging, glass packaging for the brand. So it is infinitely recyclable packaging as well, so sustainable, and they're very eco-conscious. So biodynamic organic, that is actually working with the formulations that are working on the highest standard using the best natural ingredients possible. And I'm going to run through some of the new key ingredients to this formulation, which are going to be beneficial to the hair. So when you're working with perms, typically you are causing a lot of damage to the hair, but this is a new permanent waving system that's going to operate on a different green chemistry scale. So it's actually going to give key benefits to the hair using some of these key ingredients. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called Biodynamic Helichrysum Hydrolate. This is a natural emollient, and it's actually a protective active ingredient. It helps with hydration, and it helps the hair retain moisture during your perming or waving or relaxing treatment. So this is an ingredient that fights free radicals and actually has an anti-aging action to it. So this is an ingredient that we've found that is also being used in a lot of scalp treatments. So it's perfect for the benefits to the scalp as well as the hair. So this is biodynamic helichrysum. Biodynamic meaning that it's been, the plants and essences have been grown on the farmlands that have never had any pollutants in it. So we only meet with these standards and use these ingredients for these products. So this is the one that helps with hydration and retaining moisture to the hair, which is very important when we're working with relaxers or perms. The next is organic blackthorn extract. This is an ingredient that is actually regenerating and helping strengthen not only the skin, but also the hair that you're working with. So this is going to help with that elasticity and moisture during your perming or relaxing treatment. So it's not only giving strength, but moisture and hydration. This is a great key ingredient for this new formula. This is one of my favorites that they've added to the new Owave perm system. We are talking about ethical flax and chia seed. So the flax and chia provide a bioadhesive property that actually adheres to the hair fiber. So when it's actually putting a protective film, and it's wrapping that film, which is going to help with longer lasting curls. This is a polysaccharide film that's going to give protection to the hair during your treatment, and it's going to smooth the cuticle and keep them very hydrated. So that's going to help with the elasticity and the health of your curl pattern. So this will fight frizz. And so when you're working with changing the bonds and perming hair, or changing the bonds and relaxing hair, this is very, very unique and perfect for putting an actual film around the hair that's from a polysaccharide. So this is a really awesome ingredient that they've added to the new system. So green chemistry, this is our balance and our promise to you of using nature, but it's very efficient and actually works well with the fact that we, once again, meet these standards where we do not use ammonia in our products, thioglycolates, parabens, zero synthetic fragrance, phthalates. It's a gluten-free formula, and there's no animal byproducts or ingredients used in this formulation, PEGs, or GMOs. So how it works? Well, when we're not working with an ammonia base that's going to cause the hair to swell or blast, actually, we're using something called cysteamine, which is an amino acid derivative ingredient that's related to keratin that's already present in all of our hair types. And this is what's helping to respect the health of the hair. So as we're changing the hair shape, we're actually acting upon those sulfur bridges where we modify the hair fiber, which is giving it that curl pattern. So let me dive deeper here into this part of the formulation for you. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about how cysteamine works with you. So another contributing factor to our hair curl pattern is the role that the hair shaft plays in our overall texture. So in short, it's protein bonding. So the strands of the hair that you see that are typically comprised of dead cells packed with a lot of this fibrous protein, also known as keratin. This is a protein that actually contains a lot of, let's say, copies of the amino acid cysteine, which is special because it's a sulfur-containing chemical group, allowing the formation of those strong bonds within the hair. And these are all sulfur-containing molecules. So in the case of hair that's largely built of keratin and giving it that structure, cysteine amino acids are what bond with other cysteines, and they go down that hair shaft and they contribute to the curl of your hair pattern between these bonds. So curly hair has more of these bonds typically. They're also referred to as disulfide bonds. And so the more of these bonds that we're referring to, the straighter the hair. So that shape, that angle in all parts of your hair pattern, when they come closer together, they make these bonds easier to form. So cysteamine is actually naturally occurring in the hair pattern. It's what we're replacing the ammonia with. So it's a natural part to hair fiber. So ultimately, our follicles are what's determining that hair shape or pattern. And although in the science of curly hair, that's where perming and relaxing treatments have taken true advantage of the keratin's ability to the disulfide bond to actually change the structure of the hair into that new state or new pattern that we're looking for our clients. So if you have curly hair but want straight hair, then you need to use something to break up those bonds, and we're doing it in a natural way. So you can go from straight to curly or curly to straight, and all we need is something gentle like cysteamine to get that going. Ethanolamine is also used in a small percentage so that we can actually slightly swell the hair, allowing for this action to happen. It's a gentle pH adjuster, and so there's no fumes from, like, say, ammonia in that. And that actually, since we're only slightly swelling the hair to allow for this to work, healthier hair results are happening for our clients. So now let's break into the system. Typically, when you're working with a perming or straightening system, you want to remove any residual buildup or minerals or whatnot from the hair so that we can actually do our job better. So the H-Tech is a perfect opportunity to gently cleanse and allow a pre-service clarifying service to remove any of that buildup and prep the hair for a successful perming or straightening service. So it is a pH of 9.5 to 10.5, comes in a 500 milliliter amber glass bottle. And that's what's going to be ideal for starting your perming or relaxing service with the Owave Perm system. You're going to want to apply this to damp hair, work it through. I like to sort of pancake my hands down the middle of the hair shaft all the way to the ends, really getting any of that buildup off so that we can start with a clean canvas. H-Restore is another part to this, this system, and the H-Restore has many, many uses. Ideally, it's a vegetable protein porosity balancing spray. So it's restructuring and repairing that hair internally, and it's a deep complex of proteins and amino acids, which actually are the hair's balancing porosity and strengthening builder. So that's what's also allowing us to hold on to moisture and pigment, of course, because protein and moisture lock onto one another. But it's also perfect for helping to maintain damp hair during the waving service. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we get into the actual steps of the service. So H-Restore gives structure, body to the hair fiber, porosity balancing spray, and it's a vegetable protein that integrates that protein into the hair fiber, especially when we're talking about breaking and changing bonds inside that hair structure. You want to keep it nice, balanced with both moisture and protein. So the first part to the Owave system is our Owave 1A. This is a waving solution made specifically for the coarse hair types or anybody with real resistant hair. Its pH is 8.2 to 9, and it's completely customizable with its strength and the amount you're using. So there's really no waste to this. Oway has always been very awesome and a great partner in keeping, you know, an eco-friendly type of packaging where we're not over packaging things, so you don't have to stock a million perm boxes on your shelves, whether you're working with fine, coarse, colored hair. You only need either Owave 1A or Owave 1B, and I will discuss in a second how we can customize not only the strengths, but you don't need, since they come in these nice size bottles, you only need to use the amount you need for that hair type. So you're not wasting every time you have to open another perm box with all of that, the different packaging that you're wasting as well. So it's actually very economical for you and your clientele that want to add this service to your program or your treatment service. Owave 1B, this is our waving solution for fine and highlighted hair. Once again, that pH is a perfect 8.2 to 9, which is just slightly swelling the hair just enough to start changing those bonds and putting them in a new curl or straight pattern. When I'm talking about customizing the strength, so for example, the 1A was for coarser hair types or resistant hair types, but what if you have that client that also has some highlights, and yet we seem to think it's more of on the resistant or coarse pattern? You can customize these two together in a applicator bottle and use them together. So you can actually kind of customize the strength and then also, like I mentioned before, the amount you're using for that head of hair. So there's really no waste involved here. And then the Owave 2 is your neutralizing and fortifying fluid. So what's giving this hair back its strength, fixing the curl pattern into its new form, and it's actually promoting the reconstruction of those sulfur bridges that were changed and shifted so to allow for the new formation of that curl pattern. We're getting stabilized waves that's going to give a lot of longevity to that curl pattern, and your curls will be have a lot of elasticity, but defined, so you're not getting a lot of frizz, but you can get volume at the scalp, and this is a perfect neutralizing, fortifying fluid. So what's happening in this process is you're also rebalancing the pH of the hair, because look, the pH of this neutralizing, fortifying fluid is a pH of 2 to 3, perfect for bringing that back down, sealing in and locking in those waves. And then the botanical active ingredients in this actually improve the hair elasticity, and it's leaving that hair soft and silky, and so you get an even curl from root to end. So now we'll talk about more of the step-by-step, because everything with Oway is unique. But you know, we've all probably done perms in the past, but there's just a couple unique tips here that I want to share with you. First, talking about diagnosis of your client's hair. So before you start with any treatment, with the Owave treatment, you're really going to want to consider looking at that hair fabric that you're working with. So maybe you want to really look in depth at the scalp so that if they do have any little abrasions or whatnot, you can work with the soothing remedy to apply topically to those little areas. And also seeing what the customer's hair type is like so that you're certain which Owave 1A or 1B that you'd like to use in this process. So you're going to check now whether the hair is natural or if they have colored hair or if the hair is over 50% highlighted so that you can choose the proper starting part to your Owave perm. Next, you're going to talk with your client. Let's find out what else they've been doing at home, whether they're on new medications or how they style their hair, what current retail that they are using in their home care. And then once again, if their scalp is in good condition or if they have any little areas that have a little sensitivity, so that in case of sensitive skin types, you can just apply a little bit of the soothing remedy on the scalp. You can also apply it in between your rods as we move forward into the wrapping pattern. But first, it's diagnosis, and this is a very important part. We show here in this image the tricho analyzer that they offer so that you can get a real tight analysis using a microscope to look at the hair fabric, see if there's any sensitivities on the scalp a little bit closer, and then of course sharing that with your clients so they're part of the process. Next, you're going to go to step 2, which is your cleansing. And you're going to, once again, use that H-Tech shampoo that I mentioned that has that perfect pH of 9.5 to 10.5. It's going to work out any of the residue, any buildup on the hair so that you have a nice, clean, squeaky clean canvas to work with. And also in the event of any damage or sensitivity to the hair and fabric that you're working on, you can then go ahead and use a dedicated hair bath for them. But this is a perfect start because of the pH of the H-Tech shampoo as a technical preparation for your Owave service. Number 3, rolling. This is the most fun portion of the whole event for me. I love to use a variety of patterns, a variety of roller types, sizes, shapes to get my pattern in there, whether I'm working with more volume or bounce or a beachy wave or whatnot. Now I'm going to start with my roll, and I'm going to choose the tools and techniques that are really going to give my client the result that they're after and what they want to achieve. Here you see some of the foam rollers used in this pattern, which is a great opportunity, whether it's a tight pattern or not, to give like a beachy wave to the hair as well, which is super popular. And we are seeing this trend really hitting the market so hard right now in North America. At this point, something that's very unique that they've offered you is using the H Restore to spray through all of the hair, because it's super important to keep the hair moist with water as you're wrapping, because you want to have an even porosity. We've just balanced and removed any residual buildup from the hair, starting with a clean fabric, but you also, during the rolling pattern, want to make sure that you have enough moist, that the hair fabric is actually moist. Typically we do that with the water. However, if we work with the H Restore vegetable protein integrator, we're not only keeping the hair moist so that we have an even roll, but the porosity is balanced as well, so that when we go in with our next, our step 4, where we're applying either Owave 1A or 1B, everything is equal and balanced. You're not going into any holes or divots or bumps in that road on the hair fabric. So I like to, and this is also the opportunity you have to change up your tension with your rod, and so that you get the actual results that you're looking for the curl pattern that's necessary, or if you're straightening the hair. So wrapping the hair and using this H Restore to keep the hair moist is perfect for equalizing porosity and making sure to maintain the hair's elasticity and strength. So number 4, application. So you're going to apply either Owave 1A for coarse resistant hair types, 1B for fine, overly colored hair or highlighted hair, or you're going to customize the two so that you get something sort of in between in the strength category. Then you're going to apply this solution in an applicator bottle, carefully to each roller, top and bottom. I like to start from the back and then lean them into the bowl, putting something under their neck to keep them comfortable at the back basin. And after you have applied to both sides of each of the rod, you will now look at whether we've worked with resistant hair. You're going to typically leave that on for 10 to 20 minutes. If it's highlighted colored hair, you would want to stick with more of a 7 to 15 minute processing time. Checking both types of hair every 5 minutes through the process and looking for that S pattern or that shape that you are after with your curl. Now, that's very important. Checking every 5 minutes. I stand right there with my client. I go through everything with them. I make sure that I check them every 5 minutes for that shape. Now, with the resistancy or the treated hair types, make sure your client's comfortable, making sure that everything is very well saturated. Number 5 is going to be rinsing. So after you have processed and you see that S pattern that you're after and the curl shape is working for you, you're going to rinse thoroughly with lukewarm water. I put a timer on for this. This is super important for any perming system. And the Owave perming system is no different. You are going to want to put on a timer, use lukewarm water to rinse all of that out for at least 5 minutes. I typically go a few minutes longer, especially when you've got longer hair types, more denser hair, more hair, all of that. Please make sure at least 5 minutes. I love 7. It ensures that all of this work that you've done to put these beautiful curl patterns into your client's hair type is going to give you the desired effect. So number 6, application of the Owave 2 neutralizing and fortifying fluid. This is after you've done the rinsing, you towel dry thoroughly. I think most people sort of half do this step, so please make sure that you dry that hair thoroughly with a towel. I like to actually use paper towels or this lovely new towel that Owave has come out with that's 100% cotton to go in there and kind of lightly squeeze out the moisture, like rolling your fingers in between the rods a little bit, because if you get as much of that moisture out as possible, you're going to get a nice even curl pattern and allowing for that neutralizing and fortifying action to happen. So from there, after you've towel dried or use your paper towels to get all that moisture out, you're going to now use the Owave 2 and going to apply that to all of the rods, top and bottom, and leave that on for 7 to 8 minutes before unrolling any of your rollers. After that 8 minutes, you can then unroll your rollers and you don't need to pull the hair. Just let them loose and lay in your shampoo basin. And you're going to reapply that number 2 Owave neutralizing and fortifying fluid. And that's going to stay on the hair for another 3 minutes. So definitely reset your timer so that you're getting your processing time perfect. Then you're going to go ahead and rinse the neutralizing Owave 2 out. And I like to rinse that with the water and really, really, really well. So I typically set my timer for 7 to 10 minutes to ensure all of that is out, because your client's hair is going to feel fresh, and everything from there you're going to be able to properly apply a small amount of the H milk no stress, which is our protective milk, and that's actually made just for technical treatments to really go through, leave the hair tangle free. It does a nice protection conditioning agent for your client's new curl patterns. It's beautiful, so your client's hair feels amazing from this. So leave that in just a few minutes, and then you can rinse the H milk out. And lastly, conditioning. You can go ahead from there and spray that H Restore back through the hair, and you can even apply the curly hair potion to the hair and diffuse the hair to get that bounce and shine and pop to your new locks. And so I guess the big recommendation here that I do want to note for all of you professionals out there is recommend to your clients that they wait 48 hours after one of your Owave treatments before washing their hair at home. Now, I think this is important because you are basically changing their curl pattern from the inside, where you're working with the bonds of the hair to restructure them into a new curl pattern or straight formation. And from there, you want that to set into place so that it's actually locked in. If you shampoo or if they cleanse their hair too soon, it's going to disrupt all the work that you've just done. We really want that to set and lock into place best. So a few FAQs on the new Oway Owave perming system. That's a permanent perming system. Number one, I mentioned this earlier, mixing the 1A and 1B together. Yes, you can tailor to your client's texture and meet their client's needs, whether it's in a straight formation or a curly formation, if they have highlighted, sensitized, colored hair, or if their hair is coarse, natural, or real resistant. You can go in between, you can customize this, which is perfect because in the past, we've gone through a lot of waste with having all these different perms that we had to stock and carry, but now you have one system that you can customize and tailor to your client's needs specifically. So number two, can you do a texture service and a color in the same day? We get asked this all of the time, and you can. You really need to know more about the client's hair, the health and integrity of that hair fabric that you're working on prior to even starting. So if you do color and want to permanent or texture your client's hair in the same day, I typically tend to color first. I may even go a half a level to a level darker in my shade, because as I'm neutralizing or changing that curl pattern with the Owave system, it can lighten a little bit. So you may want to deepen your base formula a little bit. So that's just a pro tip for you. Number three, can you use any type of roller? Absolutely. You can use any type of roller. You can use tension to straighten the hair. So yes, all types of hair patterns. I use multiple types of rollers in one head as well. So as you see in this image to the right, you might want to get some really nice volume and tightness into the scalp, and then the tendrils can go out. So you can use foam rods, you can use typical perming rods that are plastic or cone shaped, whatever you want to, and you can develop any type of really neat beachy wave or tight or loose pattern that you're looking for. Number four, what would you recommend for care and styling for after a perm? This is another big one that we get asked all the time. So once again, recommend that they don't do anything for 48 hours. And if they can't not shampoo or cleanse their hair within 48, when they can't wait the waiting time, make sure that they schedule that service for when they can, because this is a very important feature to the perming system, waiting 48 hours. And then I typically recommend, if they're wanting a curl pattern, they can use the curly hair bath and the curly hair mask at home to keep that curl popped and really nice and tight and beautiful inside, because it's also a really great shiny hair bath and mask for ultimate curls. You can also use a couple different options depending on if you're using it as a relaxer. We may recommend the smoothing system. So there's a hair bath, conditioner, and then the smoothing cream is lovely for soft curl patterns, and the smoothing fluid if you're looking for smooth, sleek results. So either one of those. I like to not only use that smoothing cream as a curl and soft curl pattern to keep humidity out, but also if I've relaxed the hair, I like to use the smoothing cream and the smoothing fluid for really beautiful, shiny, sleek, straight results. If their hair is very thick, you could even go in with the Silk and Glow line, which is the Silk and Glow hair bath mask, and then they do also have an oil serum to get it nice and sleek and straight as well. So these are just some options that we would recommend for sending your clients home with after a perm or a relaxer with the Owave system. So to wrap things up, this is a package that is exclusive to salon professionals that want to add some body volume, texture, curl, or even give sleek, straight results to your client's hair pattern. We love this system. We love this brand because they truly use the best ingredients. They offer a complete system for your clients that doesn't work with any waste, and you can customize and tailor your client's needs based on whatever curl pattern or hair type they have. So it's a very economical opportunity as well to give your clients exactly what they are asking for with no stress. So we are Simply Organic Beauty, and this is exclusive to you in our North American market. But I see we do have some questions I'd like to answer. No heat is needed at all with this system. I've known people to sometimes use like a light bit of heat when they're actually trying to ensure that the moisture is out after they've rinsed for the 5 to 7 minutes from working with the 1A and 1B, as they get their neutralizing fortifying fluid ready and in the applicator bottle, just to ensure that it's, you know, all of that moisture is out, so that that neutralizer gets in there and locks in that wave pattern or that sleek straight result that you just designed. But basically, we have just such a cool system. I love working with the H Restore instead of just plain water, to ensure that the protein structure and the health of the hair is kept hydrated and moisturized, because I'm creating these beautiful curl patterns and locks for my client, but I also want to make sure that the hair is healthy and frizz free, for example. So the fact that they've given us that powerful protein integrator and restoring that hair structure is really awesome for me. The fact that there is an H milk no stress option, so that I can get through that curl pattern after I've curled it, and I can use something after, because a lot of us have worked with things in the past where we cannot apply a conditioner, we cannot apply this, so you just have to let it rest. And it's a perfect H milk protective sheen for the hair. And also the way it works, the science behind the system is by all means above any others that I've ever worked with. The smell is so lovely. In fact, because it is still a perm, but back in the day, we've always had perms that really smell up our salons, and we're trying to offer a beautiful experience to all of our clients with aromatherapy and such. So this, working with the actual cysteamine that's naturally formed inside the hair, makes it to where it's not the ammonia fumes anymore. So someone's asking if we apply a color gloss after the service. I know in the past I've done that with some of the glossing treatments. I know that for me, I tend to do it the other way, but I believe that if I were going to try to do a gloss, I would probably work with the H Nectar and 9 volume, but then again, now I'm shampooing that out again. And I really like to let my curls set for that 48 hours before doing anything else. So I've done things like that in the past. I think after doing so many of these, I prefer to let my client's hair rest after the curl pattern for 48 hours. From there, certainly, let's have them back in, let's rebook them, or let's do it before and then go ahead, because that hair is going to be glossy anyway, just from some of the beautiful key ingredients that we've got going on, as well as the H Milk No Stress. How would I use this as a relaxer? Well, there's a couple answers here. Combing tension is one way. Combing starting at the nape and really working the tension on the hair. However, another way that I prefer to do it is with a huge size roller, because I can actually get the tension from the scalp out to the ends. But it's going to be all about your tension, whether you're using a large rod, which would still give you a little bit of movement without having it completely flat and straight, but your clients could have sleek, straight hair working it that way, or just combing tension. So it depends on the amount of curl pattern you're trying to relax. Someone's asking if you can use the Phyto protein mist if there's no H Restore. Sure, it's a vegetable protein integrator as well. The H Restore is more for your back bar, of course, being in the pink H system. However, certainly, I mean, that's going to be a nice mist as well. So either way, I just think it's great to actually, instead of just using plain water, because especially tap water, you know, I don't know about you, but in our area, we have so many pollutants in the water these days that, you know, from chlorine to fluoride, that I tend to be excited that I have a vegetable integrating protein spray to spray through to make sure that I keep an even, balanced, wet fabric that I'm working with as I roll. Do you use a bag on it during processing? Yes. I also use cotton to put around the hairline, so that as I'm adding my Owave 1A, 1B, or my neutralizer, it doesn't drip. But I've been intending to start in the nape and at the shampoo basin and lean my client back, putting something under their neck to rest, so that I don't need to use as much of the cotton, maybe a little bit around the hairline, but typically this helps with any drip. And if you use a plastic cap, you know, you're just ensuring that the heat from the scalp is keeping, you know, starting that action. I've done it both ways. There's not a right or a wrong, but it does keep, depending on if you're at the shampoo back bar with your clients laying back, or if they're sitting at the chair. So that's how I judge that and answer that. So you use H milk, not H balance after neutralizing. I do, because I find that the H milk is perfect after any technical treatment, because it's giving up nice, it's keeping the hair moisturized, curls like that, as well as it makes the hair more combable. So you are still working with a nice pH for that, but your hair pattern is, locked down as well from the H milk. And you can also, use the curly system if you need to feel like you've really conditioned. So when relaxing curly hair, are we just rolling on large rods, or are we applying and combing through to relax? You can do both. Personally, I like to do very large rods, because I'm getting the tension from the scalp to the ends that way, which is really where that kink seems to happen, is at the nape and at the root area. So that ensures that I've got that tension. Then when I go in with my neutralizer and I'm dropping those rods, I can really not comb into the direction of that. So that's one way. Can you use a spray bottle to apply the Owave 1A or 1B? Yes, I've done that with my relaxer services. I put it in a bottle and sprayed, but it's all about saturation. So if you have something that's a fine mist and you can tell that you haven't evenly saturated that hair, you may want to go back through with something and apply it almost like with your application bottle, and then make sure you're combing and getting that tension with the back of a fine tooth comb. So I have seen a video where a flat iron has been used while doing a relaxer. I've seen that too. I tend to not want to use heat on any type of hair fabric that I've been working to change the internal sulfur bonds in the hair. So I know that a lot of companies like to do that. I think most of those are heat activated. This is simply going to work from the key ingredients and the cysteamine that's already in the hair fabric. So a much more natural approach. So I have seen that. It's not my favorite application method, nor do I like to do that double work when it's unnecessary. I haven't noticed that I've needed to do that with any of the Owave system. For long bob and ombre hair, I want to get loose curls. So which product use, what patterns, how thick are my sections? Well, I really think it depends on how lightened. If it's over 50% ombre, you're going to, you are definitely going to, it sounds like, want to customize this one. So you might even use on the top part of the roller, the 1A, depending on if it's normal or resistant. And then where it's ombre, depending on that hair fabric, if it's over 50% highlighted, I would either consider, looking at if it's snapping and breaking from a wet stretch test before I'd even proceed. But if it's healthy highlighted hair, you could use just the 1B for those ends. So you can really customize this, which is a nice factor in this whole Owave treatment. What is your opinion about doing it like a bioionic treatment? Perm, comb, process, dry, flat iron, and then neutralize, dry again. I haven't tried it that way. I believe that would be fine too. I just get really sensitive when we talk about heat, and I've just broken bonds. I don't know that any of that would be necessary. So I see someone's asking for more perm rod placement classes. Absolutely, it's coming your way. We've got some exciting collections coming with some new curl patterns and new techniques and new. I mean, I'm a permaholic, I have to say. I'm so excited that they've brought this back and in such a natural way that I can do beautiful curl patterns. I've got so many of my clients begging for it, but I've been waiting for this one to come in because I've really wanted to work with something that's going to be a nicer system that's not full of the ammonia smells and a lot of just the toxic elements that go with perming, for my clients. It's so damaging typically, and this has been actually strengthening and moisturizing and helping with the flexibility of my hair fiber. So, many of the ingredients even have anti-aging factors to them, and I'm actually working with an amino acid derivative to make this happen in the first place. So. Okay, the difference between the old perm, the whizzed-out perm, and the new one. Well, the key ingredients are one. I think the process really still remains the same. You want to shake the bottles to ensure that all of the ingredients are mixed together because, we may not do 1 million perms in a day, so it's important to get all of the nutritional benefits and all those key ingredients active again throughout the entire formula inside the bottle. So I would do that first. But it's mainly the key ingredients. You know, there was hops before. They're in the same type of bottling, and also the customizable feature is the same, but it's really more about the key ingredients that we're working with, being respectful to the hair fiber, but they're just different. So, you know, both are going to give you soft, elasticized, waving curls and different patterns. So it's really, you know, a difference in the key ingredients. Yes, I still use papers. I'm not sure what you mean by the plastic cups. I'm not certain what you're referring to there, but yes, I still use perm papers. Velcro rollers, I mean, I use those for styling. I've never really used Velcro rollers for perming with chemical, you know, or any liquids. I just think that you're putting sort of a comb on the hair that we're actually changing the bonds inside. So that's not something that I've worked with. It is a completely different formula, but we still stick to our top no's, you know, meaning no ammonia, no parabens, no synthetic fragrance, and on and on. We stick to that mission, and we're aligned with that, it being part of our ethos all the way around. So for a relaxer, after the 1B is rinsed, do we blow dry then put number 2 on? No, I mean, the only thing you may want to do is if you're busy and you really don't feel like you can get all of the moisture out after rinsing the 7 minutes Owave 1A or 1B, then, you know, you might put them under a low set dryer. I mean, nothing hot. You're not trying to, you know, singe the hair at all. You just change the bonds, but now we're going to neutralize them in. So, you know, I don't know that I would do a blow dryer because it's going to add friction to the hair. I make sure I just get all the moisture out as best as possible with a towel, or I put them under a very, very low set, almost cool set, so that, you know, under a little dryer, but that's all. Will the perm placement, etc. class be online, webinar, or Facebook? You know, we'll probably do all of the above. We like to kind of hit you in every direction. So we'll probably start with the collection. We'll probably have some behind the scenes footage. We'll definitely take some still shots for you so that you can see the patterns in motion, have a directional idea so that you can download all of that online. So you'll see it. We'd like to do everything in multiple ways to hit everybody and to give everybody the information. So how many perms do you get from one bottle? Well, it is a 500 milliliter bottle. And so it just depends on how much you need per client's head. And that's the cool part about it. It's customizable. So, you know, gosh, I've gotten, I usually use about 1.5 ounces on average, sometimes 2 per head. So 2 divided by 50, I mean, you could get 20 to 25 applications out of each bottle easily. Maximum time for processing. It depends on the wave pattern that you're looking for, and mainly the type of pattern that you're looking for. I believe it would be, let me double check because I always follow all my instructions. One was 10 to 15 minutes, one is 7 to 10 minutes, so it really depends on the type of hair. I do believe we have these handouts to download so that you have the step-by-steps as well, which honestly, I sit there with the directions next to me, whether I do 16 a day or 1 a month. So it just helps me to keep on track. But depending on what type of hair or what type of pattern you're working with, typically it's either 10 to 15 minutes for the first part or 7 to 10, checking every 5 minutes. Is the new replacing the old? Well, we still have some of the whiz out left, but ideally this is the new Owave treatment waving system that we will be carrying moving forward. So if I have a client that has curly hair and then lightened it to the point she lost her curls, would you consider it safe to do the Oway perm? I would really do a porosity test on that. A wet stretch test would be ideal. You can even do a strand test on that hair fabric. If their hair is snapping and breaking, absolutely not. But if you wet stretch that hair and you see that there's still bounce and return, then they should be okay. If they're over 50% highlighted, then I would really think again, because it's not something that I want to be going in and changing the bonds in if the bonds are already broken so badly already. So you might be doing some treatments on the hair before you do this. Maybe we'll look at offering the rebuilding hair treatment, working with the ceramides and the hyalo minerals in that serum. in the infrared iron. I mean, there's so many opportunities with Oway to rebuild hair fabric using the H nectar coloring treatment, rebuilding and replenishing, revitalizing color, as well as, you know, the serums and all of that. So there's a great way to get your clients back on track and working with that curl pattern, as well, using maybe just even the curly hair bath and hair mask. So how do you check the pattern of the hair when you're doing the straightening? I usually take the end of a foil comb and I wrap it around and I pull it tight and then I let it loose. If it goes back into its straight formation, then it's great. If it stays sort of kinked, then I'm not ready. I need to either make sure that hair is saturated still and work with the tension. That's why I really like to work with large rollers when I'm straightening hair, because I get that tension from scalp to ends quite easily without having to overwork. Special pricing for the entire package? Well, you're in luck. Right now we have a package that includes the Owave 1A solution for coarse resistant hair. And we have the 1B for fine highlighted hair. We have the Owave 2 neutralizing and fortifying fluid. All of these come in the 500 milliliter kind of milk bottles, so that there's no waste. But it includes in this package the H-Tech pre-service clarifying shampoo, as well as that vegetable protein porosity spray. We give you 2 reusable perm applicator bottles, and even throwing in a Oway Philo 100% cotton towel. Beautiful, large enough to really work with all head and hair types. And then lastly, we give you the Oway Owave technical folder for all your informative information that we've covered in this class. But guess what? This package, one time, $99.95. It's a limited time that we're offering this so that you can start out offering these services in your salons to your staff, to your clients, anyone looking to change their texture right now for these months. But once again, that package includes one of each of the things I've mentioned, 2 reusable perm applicator bottles for a mere $99.95. So this is easy to get on board with. As you well know, we buy perms for $30 a box, and sometimes we don't get to use them for a long, long time. And this is a super awesome opportunity for you all. Are results softer than traditional perms? Should this be explained during the consult? That's really about the hair fabric. I mean, it's not about what this system can do. Tight curls, loose curls. It's really about your tension, hair fabric, and the amount of highlights or sensitivities to the hair fabric that you're working with to be able to give your clients, you know, a true read on what the results are that you're going to get. So, you know, a lot of times starting with a strand test or a wet stretch test to know the fabric better. Especially if it's a new client. But, you know, I give them my recommendations there because it's really about the tension that you're able to use, saturation, hair fabric that you're working on. So if you have any questions, do a strand test to show them the curl pattern that they will get. You can do it in the back quadrants so that there's just a little pattern there. Is the old Owave system and the new one interchangeable? I wouldn't do that. It's just they're made to be a system together. The ingredients were formulated for the chemistry of that formula for each. I can't say that it's necessarily going to do anything wrong to the hair, but it's certainly not something that I'm recommending today. Is there a mailing list or something that we could sign up for to get info on webinars instead of having to keep checking Facebook to sign up? Absolutely. Please, Samantha, go ahead and email me, and you can easily get on the mailing list. I'll add you to it immediately. So anybody that has any questions further, please contact me. My email is Rebecca, REBECCA, at simplyorganicbeauty.com, and we'll get you all registered so that you don't have to check Facebook all the time. But, you know, we have some cool stuff there as well. So thanks for being part of the tribe. So I missed the class. I'm on Central Time. What can I see again from the beginning? Well, any of you that want to revisit this in 24 hours, we typically have it up on and ready. So we'll send you the link again so that anything you've missed, or if you just want to review and get some of the downloadable features to the webinar, please feel free to check us out again. We will be sending that link out to your emails, and it will be available within about 24 hours. So if you missed anything or just want to review, we're going to definitely help you with that. If your client's transitioning from sodium hydroxide relaxer where they are half natural, half relaxed, can Owave be used? that's another time where I would definitely consider doing a wet stretch test to see if that sodium hydroxide relaxer has made the hair too sensitive to do anything to, whether it's Owave or nothing. And I'd also consider doing a strand test to be certain in the back nape corner of the hairline. So that's one way to be sure, no matter what you're working with, because sodium hydroxide relaxers can be pretty serious to the hair bonds, and you may not have a lot of hair fabric left and bonds left at all to work with. So you may be working upriver on that one. But I would still say, you know what, let's look either under the trichoanalyzer, microscope, maybe do a wet stretch test and a strand test to be sure. So charging, it depends on, your demographic. I like to look at my competition, and because I'm offering an organic, biodynamic, natural line, I typically make sure that I charge quite a bit more, whether it's 10 to 15% more from those, because I take my cost of my product, I take my time, and I make all of that valuable, because you're working with products that are super unique, that are high end, and being a caliber of stylist that you are, that's been researching these type of products, knowing what you're offering your clients and giving them the best possible on the market, then that's how I look at it. I make sure that I'm pricing myself well enough for my time and the great products that I'm working with. Can you use this on henna hair? I would say, once again, henna is like a raincoat, so that might be a situation where you're using the vodka treatment to remove the henna from the hair, which we have some directions on how to do that online. But from there, once you get that raincoat of henna taken off of the hair fabric and you clarify with the H-Tech, I still would recommend doing a wet stretch test or even a strand test, where I try to do a rod and work that one area to be sure if it's going to take, or if we need to either do another vodka treatment or talk about doing the service later when that's grown out. So how long does it last on the shelf? Well, it's a 3-year shelf life unopened. If you seal everything back down, you still should be able to get the same longevity out of that perm. And so I also like to do some, what do I call it, promotions around the fact that right now it's fall, and you can offer these anti-frizz, perming, texturizing, beachy wave services to your clients and use up the product, so that you're not sitting with anything that gets dusty on your shelf, especially if you don't have a huge market for it. But we seem to be getting a lot more of these calls everywhere I go. I'm hearing about people wanting this service. So I'm super excited that Oway has allowed us to have this beautiful line, a part of the system. So they've thought of everything. So let's get it out there, let's market it, and get some perm and texturizing services on our books. So I want to thank everybody today. I am headed back to a fun class here in Atlanta, so I'm probably going to be online again in here shortly. If you have any other questions, I'll be on Facebook Live here within the hour. So I'm always happy to help you with any more questions that you think of along the way. My name's Rebecca Gregory. I am the Education and Technical Director for Simply Organic Beauty, bringing professional products organically to you. And I really thank you for taking your time. I know you all are busy superstars in your own area. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to doing some more education with and for you. So I will see you soon. Happy hair.